today we have a special show because I am going to be doing some high protein, let's say appetizers or snacks for a friend who's coming over in about an hour and a half. And yes, I'm about to cook all of this stuff up in an hour and a half and have a beautiful spread. But even though I'm doing that and entertaining, I am still not going to give up on my high protein meals, and in this case, snacks for entertaining. And so, if you've been following me, you notice or you've seen that I have been lately putting together a bunch of high protein meals that gets me through the evenings for dinner, for lunch, and for breakfast. But a bunch of you did comment like, hey, what about snacking and stuff like that, especially people who are trying to lose weight, but also, have some cravings at times. And so tonight I am going to be doing basically four different little mini appetizers that are all high protein, low calorie. They're going to look amazing. They're going to be budget friendly, but absolutely luxe at the same time. And more importantly, they're going to be easy for you to do. You can make them and recreate these even if you're doing one snack at a time, or if you're having friends over and you want to, still be able to indulge without losing the plot. And the plot is we're still trying to lose weight. We're still trying to make sure that what we eat counts, and we're also trying to enjoy it. Because there's nothing worse than having friends over and having to eat like some veggie tray. So that's not what we're doing here. It's not going to be your boring veggie trays. It's not going to be your boring salads. It's going to be food that looks 5-star, but it's also going to be high in protein. It's going to be able to satisfy cravings, and it's also going to be able to make sure that it's hitting the spot when it comes to weight loss. Now, I am loving what is happening with me lately. Lost a lot of weight, and I'm seeing it. This dress about a month ago would not look like this. And things are starting to look amazing. And I'm telling you, it's not only because of the working out, it is definitely the high protein meals that I'm doing. And so I am sharing everything I'm learning along with you so that you can get the same success, or you could at least understand what you need to do when it's that time. Okay? Hello, Ziamara, your boy Coco. I'm so sorry about your arm getting hurt. That's really sucks. London, thank you for the beautiful compliment. And Janique said hi. Thank you so much. Sniper, I don't know if that's for me or not, but if you want to stay on the live, I think we should, try to play nice, or we can drop you off the live. It's up to you. Mexican, thank you for jumping on. All right. So we're going to start off with, as I mentioned, if you're just jumping on, 4 high protein bougie snacks that I'm going to lay out as a spread. My friend is coming over in an hour and a half. So literally I have an hour and a half to do this, but I'm doing it with you just to show you how quick, easy these things are to make, but they're going to be amazing. Okay. They're going to taste great. It's not a veggie tray and it's not a salad, because that's the one thing I know, like when I started looking for these types of dishes and snacks and stuff, a lot of it is the stupid veggie tray with a dip. We're not going there. We're going to go bougie. We're going to go high class. We're going to go 5-star entertaining, but we're also going to keep it simple, budget friendly, and more importantly, tasty. Because as I've said before, I eat with my eyes. I love food. And even though I'm trying to lose that weight, which it is happening, I still want my food to taste good, okay? And I know you do too. So for me, I shouldn't have to give up the taste just because we are, trying to keep healthy and stuff like that, okay? So what we're gonna do, you could put it down here. We're going to make the first one first because I need to refrigerate that and have that setting while we are working on the other meals. So the first one is going to be a yogurt, like this is for the end of the evening, and a yogurt dish, but we're going to make a yogurt 5-star, okay? So I kind of pulled out all the things I'm going to need so that I can move, because as I said, she'll be here in an hour and a half and I need to get this going. All right, so let's get the first set of stuff. for this one. And it's a so simple, 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 simple. We're gonna get some Greek yogurt, okay? High protein is the name of the game, okay? So this protein is gonna give us 180 calories per serving with 12 grams of protein, right? So that's gonna be a good one for us. But we're gonna make it a little nice. We're gonna make it bougie. And so we're gonna add some chocolate, and we're gonna add some almond butter to it. I know you're like, wait, what? What's going on here? Like, why are we mixing these things? But it's going to be amazing. Okay. Lay out a high protein, sometimes in the box, sometimes not. That's the way to do it, Aboye. Protein is good for you. Good job. Yes. If we're going to be doing, for me, the high protein and trying to keep in a calorie deficit has been working. Okay. So I'm making these 4 kind of snacks for this board for when she comes, and that's going to be our dinner. And I'm also going to put a drink in there, low calorie drink, because when your girl visits, you got to pull out, the bubbly. Okay, we're not going all, everyone has said this, and you probably have heard this, right? Everything in moderation. But in this case, everything in moderation, plus try to keep it high protein so that you're not over snacking and just eating calories unnecessarily. So let me show you how to make this. All right, remember, just 3 ingredients. You're gonna get some Greek yogurt. I have a vanilla bean one. You're gonna get some chocolate. I know you guys are like, ooh, chocolate. I'm not a big chocolate person, but in this recipe, I will deal with, I like it, okay? And you're gonna get some almond butter. And so let me get something to put this in. And I'm gonna make it directly in here so that we can put it in the freezer, okay? So I'm gonna make it already in the little bowls, and I'm gonna put this down so that you can see. Okay, so we're gonna pull this, and this is so easy, so easy. I'm gonna get a little bowl, because I'm gonna need to melt the chocolate. And basically, we're doing things easy here, okay? We're not over this. Don't make it too complicated. Don't make it too expensive. Just try to remember, we're trying to get high protein, low calories, a little bit. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this. It's just for 2. So that's how much I did. I'm not a big chocolate person, so I'm not putting too much in there. And then I'm just gonna pop that in the microwave. So I'm gonna step aside for a second. My microwave is on the other side of the camera. And I'm just gonna put this in here for a little bit. Obviously, I know you can do this definitely different ways, but I am going to do it the easy way. In the meanwhile, we wanna scoop out our yogurt. Okay, remember I'm doing 4 snacks for this, okay? So I'm trying to work fast because we got other things to put on that board, okay? And so here is my vanilla bean Greek yogurt. This thing tastes so good. I would recommend getting one that you definitely like. Either the plain yogurt or the vanilla bean is a good one to start with. And remember, this is a high protein, right? We're doing high protein in this, so I'm just gonna, ladle some of this into the bowl, okay? I don't have much left, but this, I really, really like this one. This is from Trader Joe's, and it's very tasty. And it, it gives me the feeling like I'm having some ice cream with the vanilla bean in there. Okay, so there we go. I'm just gonna get something to clean that up. And remember, we are just doing, I love entertaining. I love eating. So just because I'm entertaining and I'm still trying to work on, trying to work on my, my physique, doesn't mean that I will, I don't want to have good food. I didn't put this for a minute, so obviously it's not ready. So I'm gonna put it back in there again. You could put as much chocolate as you want. I'm just gonna put it back in for like 30 seconds because it's already melted, but I want it to be a little more. So just 30 seconds in there, okay? Now you can use peanut butter or almond butter if you want. I wanted to try this one because this one also has, it's crunchy. And so I think that's gonna give it another flavor. But you can use peanut butter as well. So you have the protein from the yogurt, and then you're gonna have some protein here from the almond butter, which is gonna be 7 grams of protein alone just in this one, okay? So looks like my chocolate is ready. I'm gonna grab that. And as I said, keep this simple, okay? So you see it's nice and melted. Obviously, there are tons of other ways to melt chocolate. This is a quick way for me. So for all the cooks out there, please don't come after me. And then what we're gonna do is just get a little bit of, kind of spread it out because we kind of want to make it like the top. Make it pretty if you can. As I said, I'm not a big chocolate person, but I like it. I just want a little bit for this thing. If you are, you could add a little more. Don't overdo it. Remember, we're still trying to keep proteins down, the calorie count down. And chocolate, you know, obviously is going to have calories in it. But no one says we have to have zero indulgence, okay? It just says, be careful. Be careful what you're doing. Okay, so now you have the chocolate on top of your Greek yogurt. And that's gonna kind of, what we're gonna do is put this in the freezer to make a shell on the top. Here is my almond butter. So you see at the top, you wanna kind of make sure this is mixed in a little bit because you don't want the liquid per se, which is okay, I guess, if you get that. But just mix it up a little bit. And then we're going to put a little bit of that. I'm trying to still make it look pretty as well, obviously, because I eat with my eyes, and I want when people see food that they are all immediately like, oh my God, what is that? I need to have some of that. But you see how quick I am doing this, right? Like don't make it a big ordeal. Okay. And then one last thing I'm going to add to this. Clean that up. I wish I had the bigger flakes, but I don't. But if you have the bigger, I'm just cleaning up on the side. Okay? And so right now, I'm just going to add a touch of salt. And I know you're like, wait, what? But just a touch of salt. If you had the sea salt flakes, it would be even better. But I love that, the saltiness, almost like that like salted caramel kind of thing. Obviously, this is not caramel. This is peanut almond butter. But I promise you, you're going to be like, it just does what it needs to do. Okay? And so now we have it. I have a little mistake here. And so that's how this is. And then basically what I'm going to do is put this in the freezer. So this is you're going to make this first if you're making it like how I'm doing it. Clean this up. I just want to make sure I'm cleaning up as I go because by the time I'm finished, I think my friend would be here. So I don't want to have to be cleaning and doing too much after that, okay? So I'm trying to clean as I go as I, go. Any questions? Don't throw away the nut butter oils. Mix them in. Your body needs healthy fats to be able to get rid of the unhealthy fats. Okay. I give you a favor adding strawberry juice and yogurt and mix it well. It's so yummy. Okay, I like that. Jan Haas, thank you for jumping on. I appreciate you. Okay, so this is what we have. And you're gonna just pop these in the freezer, okay? And then at the end of this hour, they would have formed a kind of like a shell on the top. It's so delicious. Okay, I'm gonna put these in the freezer now, and then we can get to our second snack, high protein snack. Okay, and so you just get a place in your freezer, and you put those in there, and all right away you already have a beautiful snack for your friend or for yourself if you're looking for something high protein that doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm guilty for eating this. Of course, you could just have the yogurt by itself, but we're talking bougie, we're talking luxe, we're talking 5-star. We're gonna add some extra stuff to it. And so that is what we're gonna do. All right, so I'm gonna put these away so that, as I said, when I'm done, I am already cleaned up. The next one I'm going to start with is some stuffed red bell peppers. Remember, the name of the game is we are doing high protein snacks, because I promise you, if you start focusing on high protein anything, your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and your snacks, you're going to see how amazingly quick you lose weight. You're going to see how your muscle tones, the muscle repairs itself and tones up. And you're also going to see that you're not necessarily feeling hungry throughout the day. So we're having this for dinner because we're not going to need more after that because of all the proteins I'm going to be doing on this. So let's go. The next one is I'm going to stuff this with cottage cheese and some feta and then drizzle it with some honey sriracha. Ooh, baby, it is amazing. Now, I love doing this with goat cheese, but we're trying high protein. So I'm switching out the goat cheese and I'm gonna have the cottage cheese. So what I need to do is turn on the oven. I'm gonna put it at 425 in the meanwhile to get ready. And so by the time I'm ready to fix everything up, it would be ready to go, okay? You're gonna need a baking tray. And actually, I'm going to go with, instead of my baking tray, I'm actually going to use this guy. So we're going to pull that guy out. I think I have a little silicone mat for in here, and we're going to put that on there. Listen, the high protein meals and breakfasts and dinners that I've been doing lately are so delicious that I'm amazed that this is what we consider healthy eating, okay? I'm not a person that could eat the same thing over and over again. And so it's been fun coming up with different ways to get to that high protein, but still make sure what I'm eating tastes amazing. First one runs about, okay, Catherine said your first one runs about 206 calories, each chocolate chips and almond butter, and a heaping 1/3 of Greek yogurt. Catherine, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for putting that in the chat for everyone. Good evening, Black Queen. Dr. Jonathan, thank you. Okay. All right, so remember, this one is stuffed peppers. So your oven is going right now at about 425 degrees. We're stuffing it with cottage cheese. And let me get a little spoon for that, a little bowl, sorry, because we're going to be mixing that up. And this is so easy. The hardest thing, not the hardest, I would say the most tedious part about this is getting the seeds out of this thing. And a few months ago, I went to Costco and I got these and they came seedless. And I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. You know? I mean, it's weird, but it was so easy to use it because it was just cutting it. But now for this one, obviously I'm gonna have to cut and then take the seeds out. Shouldn't take too long, Um, and as I said, my friend will be here in about an hour and 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And so we have 3 more meals and our drink, our alcoholic drink that we're going to be making. And I'm doing this all with you so you can see, hey, you can do this. You don't have to suffer and eat, go to those parties and just have that corny veggie tray. Like, who eats the veggie tray? I I promise you, I do not. I cannot. I'm using my Miyabi knife, and I think it's going to be perfect for this kind of skewering that I need to do. This Miyabi knife I got when I was in Japan recently. Okay, so it's going to cut through this, cut through the peppers so easily. And all you need to do is get it in half. If I'm not answering your questions right away, please just know that it's because I am kind of moving quickly so I can get the meal going, the snacks going. This is going to be our dinner slash just appetizers while we catch up. And so I'm trying to make sure that when she comes, I am not still doing anything and that, she can have my full attention. So luckily, these don't have that much seeds. The seeds and the peppers are edible as the yellow pit in the pomegranate. Feel free to get sloppy in your prep. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I always feel like, it doesn't look good or would it taste weird. I'm telling you, the knife is helping me. The precision is amazing. Thankfully, the seeds are not coming all the way down the vein. So all I need, I have the sink right next to me. I'm just pulling those out. Okay. And so this is just so easy. But as Catherine just said, if I left a couple of seeds or not, it's not going to be the end of the world, which is okay. And I'm just trying to make sure it's half, so that I could get the boats, I could be able to stuff it properly with my filling, okay? And the filling is where you're going to get your protein. If you have been following me, you know that cottage cheese is one of those things that you just might as well go ahead and figure out how to like it. Because it's in everything and in everything when I'm cooking. And the reason being is because I've grown to like it, but I've also grown to work with it. So it gets the flavor that I want, and I'm not feeling like, oh my gosh. So I know cottage cheese back in the day did not have the best, probably marketing. And now it is, if you watch or research anything when it comes to high protein diet, you're going to find everyone and their mama using cottage cheese. Okay. I want to get a couple more reds because once again, I eat with my eyes. It looks like mostly orange and yellows. So I'm going to grab this last red one and rinse this really quickly because I want it to be pretty. Like you ever go somewhere and it looks like the person cared about what they were presenting. And it looks like, wow, did they order this? Did they get it catered? That's what I like when my friends come over. I like them to feel like very special. And for me, I could do that with food, okay? And so that's why for me, I'm like, just because I'm on this journey doesn't mean that I can't entertain just as much as I did before. And we can't entertain around food, Okay, so I think this is enough. What do you think? Let me know. I didn't get my alert. Oh, Sherry, I'm so sorry about that. You know how YouTube be acting up sometimes. Same as onions and everything. That is so true. Is Thrifting Atlanta coming to your house today or something? No, it's somebody else. Thrifting Atlanta is actually in Atlanta, literally. So she won't be coming over. There's somebody else from work, and we just haven't seen each other in a while. So we said, I asked her to come by, and I was going to have appetizers, and drinks, Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Remember, we're on a move, right? We already got our yogurt going, and now this is your cottage cheese here. So I'm gonna get a spoon. I'm gonna start putting some of the stuff in my dishwasher so I could get that going as well. So here's your yogurt, and this, I mean, not your yogurt, your cottage cheese. And I'm just gonna put maybe, yeah, this would be enough. If not, we can always add more later. And I'm gonna put this here. I'm also gonna put some thyme in here, okay? And so I have some fresh thyme. And normally when I make this, I normally make it with goat cheese. And it's just such an amazing, it's so good. Like you could eat a lot of these very quickly. And the reason I'm not doing goat cheese is because you could eat a lot quickly. I figured, okay, you know what? I need my calories to count. So let's make this high protein. So I just figured, let's just mix it instead with, let's do it instead with cottage cheese. The other thing I'm gonna do, this fresh thyme just brings out, ooh, it just smells so amazing. You know, you just season your stuff with these different herbs, no extra calories, but yet it packs a punch. Smells so good. Okay, I want to get some salt and black pepper. As you know, for me, salt and pepper is not seasoning alone. It anchors, but it should not be the only thing you're reaching for. I'm from the Caribbean. I'm from Trinidad, and seasoning everything is like, it should be studied. It should be studied how we kill the seasoning game. Like everything needs to be studied on how, for us, you definitely want to make sure that you're seasoning things. I'm just pulling out like if they're the bigger branches from the thyme. You don't have to, but. And I'm just gonna build this up a little bit. Here we go. And so this is your cottage cheese, salt and pepper mixture, okay? If you run out, you can actually add more, obviously. So here's what I'm gonna do. Just take a little spoon and bring you closer so you can see what I'm doing. And then you're just gonna be adding them into the bowl like that. Oh my God, that looks amazing already. Look at that. My husband really loves cottage cheese, so I think I'm gonna definitely save him some of these because I think he's gonna love this. Because he loves cottage cheese. He will eat cottage cheese right out of the bowl. So I'm gonna definitely save him. And I've already ran out, so I'm gonna make some more. Because obviously I'm not gonna have enough to fill all the bowls. And that's okay, right? You eyeball it. You eyeball it and then you say, okay, what do we need? It's funny because I've never figured it out. I always think I need less, that the bowls are, not going to fill up. And I always have to end up making more. So we're going to add some more cottage cheese. And you see, it's not hard because all we're doing is adding cottage cheese. We're going to get some more of our, put this here for a second. We're going to get some more of our thyme. You definitely want that thyme in there because that's what's giving, it's a flavor that I don't even understand myself. I just know that it's good. It tastes amazing. It adds a punch and it gives the cottage cheese some variety taste instead of you just eating a bowl of cottage cheese. Then when you roast this, the sweet peppers become even more sweet. You just got to do it to know and believe me on this, okay? It's one that you can have all the time. You don't have to only be entertaining to treat yourself. A lot of times on the weekends, I don't cook a big meal. Like I cook some of these and then we just eat it, so that you're not over full. Normally, if you go to a restaurant to buy these things, it's so expensive. But you can see how quick and easy it is to do for yourself and how inexpensive. Because what are you talking about? Cottage cheese, thyme, and some sweet red peppers. First of all, you go to a restaurant, they'll give you 2 in an appetizer. Okay, I want to add some black pepper. Make sure your black pepper is in there. And then we want to add some salt. Make sure our salt is in there. Okay, I got to keep watching my time. Okay, so we got about 30 minutes left to finish up the other things. So I'm going to kind of move a little bit, a little more salt. Okay, I'm much more a savory person. So I think that's why I like these things instead of like sweet, you know. My daughter and my husband are definitely on the sweet side, and my son and I like savory. Okay, that might be a little too much. Okay, try to keep it nice, and I'm not going to make any more. So I'm gonna make sure I finish these with. Definitely make sure these get a little bit in here, because I'm not going to make any more. Okay, I think we did it. Okay. Last little squirm up there. Okay. Yes, we did it. Salt and pepper go back away. As I said, I'm trying to keep the kitchen not necessarily messy, so that when I'm done here, I don't have to now wash dishes for the 15 minutes, because I don't think I'm going to have time. So here's the last thing. I have a little bit of feta cheese left. Yes, feta cheese on top of cottage cheese. Promise you, the tanginess, it just works. It just works. So I'm going to go right in. And then you're just putting them just a little bit on top. And this is going to get, darken in, because we're going to put it in for 425. Some people broil this. I don't like broiling it right away. I like putting it in and then letting the red peppers like really get that dark and crispy, because I think the peppers become more juicy. Ugh, it's so good. Every time I make this, it goes quickly. It definitely is one of those appetizers that people love, whether it's the goat cheese or the cottage cheese. But I've really only made the cottage cheese like twice. But it just goes still. Okay? All right. And there we have it. So I'm just going to transfer these now to my baking dish. And then into the oven they go. I think I'm at 375. So I finished these before my oven was preheated, which is really good, right? Like, that's how quick these things are to make. Make sure you leave them on the side. You take this little stalk out. And it's okay. I like normally when they have the little tip. These things come a lot with the tip, so that's okay. And then we're just gonna do like that. And then when that is done, I'm going to drizzle it with this honey sriracha. Ooh, ooh. This tastes so amazing, so amazing. Okay, so Catherine is clocking us in 167 calories. Like, guys, that's nothing, right? Like, as I said, this is dinner, and I still might be under the calorie count because I'm doing more of a calorie deficit each day to try to drop my weight, and it's working, okay? So right now, this is what it looks like. And what will happen is we'll put this in the oven, and then I'll keep the time out because I want to do some garnishing, obviously, because we eat with our eyes, and we'll keep the sriracha out because this will be what we drizzle over it. And this honey spicy sauce with the peppers and the cottage cheese comes together so flavorful, but it's also like a guilt-free snack. Bougie, but guilt-free, okay? So I'm gonna put this on the side here. Oh, We just hit 425, so I'm gonna put this in here, and I just have to remember that this is in here. So if somebody on the live will remember, like, hey girl, remember your um, remember your sweet peppers. Okay, so we have that done, and then I have a very amazing one for you this time. And I'm just gonna clean up a little bit because, as I said, I need to clean up. I'm gonna need my knife, and I'm just gonna wipe my board. Okay, and then I'll flip the board. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Artiste. Thanks for jumping on. Whoop. All right, where did my, oh, here it is. All right, let me make sure my mic is still on. Let me know if you're hearing me still. Okay, because that just popped off. Okay, have you heard of halloumi cheese? Have you heard of halloumi cheese? It's normally not something that you will get often. In fact, I had to go to 3 stores before I got it at Trader Joe's today. Halloumi cheese is a high protein cheese, okay? So in this one, we're going to do, it's 80 calories with 6 grams of protein. Like, that is crazy. That is a really, really good one. So this, why I like this is that it's not a melting cheese. You normally grill it, or you can grill it, or put, I don't know what else they do with it, or put it on this, and I'm not gonna grill it today. I'm putting it on the stove, with a kind of a grill on the stove kind of thing. But it's not a melting cheese. It's amazing. But here's how we're going to do this. We're going to make a halloumi bruschetta. Woo! So what we're going to need, yes, you're going to need some carbs, baby. We're not dropping carbs. We need carbs. So we're going to do carbs. And just like you make your bruschetta, we'll have some tomatoes and some basil and some garlic. I need some garlic. Let me get some garlic back here. And that's it. That is all we need. So what I'm going to do is first make the bruschetta, the tomato portion, so that could start marinating. And then we're going to get this guy going. We're already, literally, this is our 3rd appetizer or snack already. We're moving, baby. We're moving. Okay? So I'm going to rinse my knife. I'm going to rinse the knife so that we don't have any, where is my sponge? Oh, here it is. We're going to rinse our knife so that we can make sure that we don't have any smells that crosses over, you know, because I'm going to cut up the tomatoes in half. And if you've had bruschetta before, you normally know bruschetta comes on just the bread. You could just do it by itself like this. But remember, it's high protein, baby. So if you were to do the bruschetta with just this and your bread, you're really getting carbs. This is giving us the high protein. It's going to taste amazing. Watch this. Look how quickly this is going to come together. And you're going to want to go out and get halloumi tomorrow. Now, I will tell you, you should probably go get it tomorrow, because it's normally a cheese that they only, like most places, carry in the summertime. So if you miss this summer, you might be looking for it for a while. Okay? So I'm going to get my tomatoes going. These are just some grape tomatoes that I have. I'm gonna get a bowl to get that in here. Get a small bowl. And just get a small bowl here. Make sure you're seeing the action. Tell me. Honey sriracha will add an additional 120. Consider 2 tablespoons monk fruit. Yes, I'm not gonna go too heavy on it. I'm just going to give it a drizzle, I promise. Because yes, it's going to add that extra in there, but I'm going to give it a drizzle. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good on it. But you are absolutely right. If you want a sweetness, you can add something different. All right. My knife is ready. I think I'm going to go. I'm trying to figure out which way to go in cutting. I think I'm just gonna, okay, I'm gonna do that. So like almost like in quarters. I want it small enough because remember, these are going to be going on a slice of bread that's pretty small. So you need it to be able to fit on the bread. And so that's where you just have to think about like, okay, what am I using this for? And as I said, this knife that I got in Japan really just makes things so much easier for cutting these kind of things. Oh, it's like slicing through butter. I say this every time because I'm in shock every time. And I'm like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I buy a proper knife way in advance? For someone who loves cooking the way I do, I should never have waited these many years to get this. But never, never too late, right? And so I'm just cutting these up. And this is going to be the bruschetta. But you are going to get your calories. You're going to get some calories in the bread because we have a carb, which is fine. You need carbs. Don't let people tell you like zero carbs. You need carbs. It gives you energy. Just be careful how much. This is definitely one where you say in moderation. But this is going to taste really, really good with that halloumi, that grilled halloumi. We're not going to grill it on the outside. I'm going to put it on. I have a grilled cast iron pan. So I'm going to do like that so I could get the grill lines, because remember, we're doing Lux on a budget here. We're doing Lux. Are you okay? You should take some Motrin and ice your ankle. My son just came back from his basketball game, and it looks like he hurt himself. I'm actually on a live. Yeah. No, I'm on a live. Okay, so just cutting these up. If you have an egg slicer, you can lay those in it and use the guidelines. Oh, I do not have an egg slicer. I didn't even know such a thing existed, an egg slicer. I appreciate your style. Just literally stumbled upon your program for the first time. Annette, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. What we're doing is I'm entertaining in about 45 minutes. I have a friend coming over. But I have been on my journey, my weight loss journey, and nutrition journey with high protein, just trying to keep my meals high protein. And even though my friend is coming over, she's not on anybody's weight loss journey. I still want to be able to entertain, feed her some nice luxe, 5-star dining, but still keep in line with what I need for me, because this is going to be my dinner as well. So that's what we're doing. So we've already made a yogurt. I would say it's not a parfait, but it's chocolate and almond butter Greek yogurt. And that's in the freezer right now because I'm trying to get the... Elijah, what are you doing? Okay. You see what I mean? Like I'm literally doing something, and yeah. So we did that, and then what I'm doing in the oven right now, I have some stuffed red peppers, like mini peppers, and that's stuffed with cottage cheese and thyme mixture, topped with some feta cheese. I'm just going to finish the whole thing because might as well, right? I don't think we're going to have much leftovers. This stuff is going to go down. I went to happy hour last night, and it's just like, it was kind of frustrating, like all the food that, I would love to eat, but, because I'm thinking of what I'm counting and being very careful of what I'm eating. I do wish that a lot of places would slow down with just all carbs. And of course, before I was doing this, it didn't bother me, but now I see like, geez, So in this, even though I'm using carbs, I'm intentional about it. I'm making sure that we have that protein. Can you use the one outside? Yeah. I mean, he comes in and he's just like doing the most. All right, go ahead. Put it. Oh, why don't you can't do it like that? That makes no sense. Why don't you use a cup? Do anybody have teenagers?
Bro, like you're clip farming, bro.
Like teenage. Okay. All right, we're going to put this all in. Oh, I smell the. I'm gonna bring you over here. I smell the peppers, so I want to make sure that we are okay. Have a couple of bolts that fell over, but so far it's still doing well. And I'm smelling the peppers, so that means that we're doing well. I'm gonna maybe fix those bolts that fell so that they don't continue to like, you know, let's see if we could do that. Let's see if we can fix them now so that they're not necessarily um, good. Okay. He just needs a little assistance. Okay, there we go. And so these are going to start browning up a little bit, and that's okay. I love that the cheddar cheese on the top is, getting it to brown a little bit. And so we'll keep that in there for a little more, and then we'll head back over to making our bruschetta. So the 30 calories so low you can't overdo it. I love that. Okay, so we are going to pour. Okay, so as Catherine has given us more than one permission, having as many of these is not going to be a problem. Obviously, it's the bread would be where my carbs and the it's going to come in. So Catherine, while you're counting, here is what the nutrition facts. I got this. I've never had this one. It's an artisan style bread from Trader Joe's, sliced seed multigrain bread, but it's 160 calories per serving, and serving size is 2 slices, which is going to be good because I'm going to be cutting these up, and there's 6 grams of protein in each serving. So 160 calories, 2 slices is a serving size, and it's 6 grams in each serving. So that's a really good thing. So what we're going to do, as I mentioned, we're going to get this together. And now we have some basil. We're going to get some basil. And for basil, all you need to do is literally tear the basil. Just going to tear it up a little bit. And that's how that's going to go in there. Just you're going to tear up your basil. If you have a scissors and you want to do like that, but this is a quick, simple way of doing it. And I really, really like basil. I think that's what really makes bruschetta bruschetta. So I'm going to just add a little more leaves in there. Try to get them small as possible. And so that's what we have. And can you see that? I wish you could smell it. I always say this, like, I wish people could smell what is happening because the smell is, Okay. I'm going to spin that around a little bit. And then I'm going to have some salt and pepper. And I need to cut up some garlic with it. The salt is going to kind of release the liquid in the tomatoes. So when you start scooping it after, just be careful that you're not taking up too much water. Okay. Oh, all right. Let me get some garlic going in there. And we're almost done with this. The only thing we have to do now is get that halloumi um, cooking. And when you see that, you're going to want to run out and get halloumi. If you have never had it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, where has this been all my life? But it's definitely one of those things that you have to get in the summer. As I said, I went to a few places to get it today, and they didn't. They had ran out. They were like, "Oh, we already had our summer delivery for that. We don't think we're getting any more." And thankfully, I went to Trader Joe's at the end because I needed to get the other stuff, and they had it. Although they also said, "Hey, you might as well get 2 today because we're not going to probably have that anymore after today." And they didn't have that many. They had like 3 pieces left, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So I'm just mincing this very fine. My knife is doing all the work, which I love. And then I'm just going to get this in the bowl. Okay, so we're making a bruschetta here. Okay. Now, you notice I did not put any olive oil in here. I'm not going to because I'm going to try to save some of the calories for the olive oil for my bread. So you don't need it. I promise you, you're not going to miss it. I know for a lot of bruschettas, they call for the olive oil, but I'm adding a little more basil. You're not going to miss it, I promise you. Okay? This bowl was way too big, but now we have our thing here. So we can just set this aside. And now we're going to need okay, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. I probably touched this here. Okay. You guys can hear me now. Okay. Okay. So what I was saying is I thrifted this pot years ago, telling you check out the thrifted area. Hold on. What happened? Huh? Oh. I thrifted this pot years ago. Um, Check out the Goodwill section all the time for, you know, pots and pans and all these different things. And I got this, and it's helped me, especially because we don't have a grill right now, and I don't feel like going outside and trying to put together a grill. This is what I'm using. So for the halloumi, all you need to do is basically slice it, okay? It really does taste better grilled. So I'm just going to clean up a little bit of the stuff that I have. Could put this here. I could smell, oh my goodness, I am smelling our red peppers. They are smelling amazing. Okay, so let's check on the red peppers before I get there. I have the grill going, like heating up, which is good, so that when we put the cheese, it's a non-melting cheese. So don't worry about putting cheese on it. You're gonna see it's gonna come together. But you know what? While I'm doing that, I should probably put my bread to toast because we're gonna want the bread toasted nice and crunchy. So remember, we talked about the proteins. This is how big it is. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it big for now because maybe I'll just do bigger pieces and you just do one, or we'll see. I'm gonna put all of these in the oven in the meanwhile since the oven is going. And let me just grab. I want to make sure I put it on a rack so that the bread becomes. You want to make sure you don't put the bread directly on something. You could toast this if you want to, but putting it on this will allow the air to move through and this to become crispy, okay? If you put it directly on it, it's not going to do that. So I'm just going to put 5 pieces on there. Remember, 2 slices is what's the calorie? It's 160 for 2 slices. The slices are not huge. So I'm going to do that. Actually, let's do 6. Okay. And so I'm just going to pop this in the oven, and I'm going to also at the same time be taking out let's take out our peppers. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and I will have that cool down for a little bit. Okay, so here's the peppers. Now, what I do like, I want it to be a little darker, so I'm gonna run the broiler. I'm going to trust that I remember this because I always put stuff in the broiler and never remember. So I'm gonna take out the bread because I don't want the bread to broil at the same time. Although we have 2 ovens, I didn't preheat the one below, so we're gonna have to bring that in after. Guys, please. Every time I put something to broil, I always forget about it. So I'm asking you pretty please to remind me. Make sure I'm checking the broiler. In the meanwhile, we are going to get our halloumi. It comes in like water, like you know how you get fresh mozzarella or buffata? It comes like that. So you just want to open up your packet, be careful, and take it out as a chunk. Get the water. And then what we want to do is you're basically going to slice this up, right? You're going to slice this up so that you can get it on, you can get that grill lines like you've grilled it. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to slice it down this way. Yeah, I'm going to slice it this way. Okay, so this one comes already with some seasons to it. It looks like it has some herbs and stuff in here. I don't know which herbs, it doesn't say, but it definitely has some types of seasonings in it. I'm gonna give, and this is how big I'm slicing it. So that looks like a 1/2 inch, right? And so I'm just gonna cut it in like that. I'm gonna cut up the whole thing because why not? If I don't use all of it tonight, I could always use it tomorrow, maybe with breakfast or something like that. And there we go. Okay, so just like that. All right, let me check on my peppers. Perfect. Okay, there we go. I will show you what this looks like. Let me just put the bread in there. And so I don't need to have this broiling. Put the bread back. And so the bread could go in there. Okay, there we go. So here's what we have. And we're making this bruschetta here. No, I'm sorry. This is the stuffed. We're making bruschetta, but this is the stuffed red peppers and stuff like that. It smells so good in here. I'm going to let that rest for a little bit before we transfer it to a platter. But that's done. Okay? That's done. Okay. Here is the cheese. And then all we're going to do is drizzle some olive oil on our pot. Do you need a cup or something over there? Okay. All right. So, what? Yeah. Okay. So I'm drizzling some olive oil on the pot, just like that. And I'm gonna need to move it around a little bit so that it gets in the grooves. And this is really, really hot, so I think we're ready for action here. And so this is the favorite part. This is gonna be my favorite part because we're making the grilled halloumi. And I'm just gonna move this guy out of here for a second. And you're gonna bring that there. Okay, pot is nice and smoking. And so we are just gonna get our guys. I want the grill lines, so you see I'm putting it in a way that I could get those grill lines going. This is halloumi, if you're just joining. It's a cheese, but it has a very high protein in it for the amount of calories you're gonna have in this. It's a non-melting cheese, okay? It's a non-melting cheese, so do not be worried that you're putting like cheese literally on hot liquid and hoping that it just doesn't become a goop. I want to get everything in there because we are running out of time. So I'm going to get this guy back there. All right, while that is going, any questions? Each 2 slices of cheese adds about 100 calories, same with 1 teaspoon of olive oil. Perfect. Rosemary, it's halloumi cheese, Halloumi. I was trying to get the wrapper. Okay, this is the one I got. And I got this from Trader Joe's. But as I was saying, it's a cheese that's really more popular in the summer. So if you miss it in the summer, a lot of places won't have it anymore. So you gotta just be very careful. If you want it, you know, you gotta just definitely go out and get it now. So here's my cheese coming together. Oh, look at, doesn't that look gorgeous? Like, as I said, we eat with our eyes, right? That looks gorgeous. I'm probably turning too quickly because you see my lines are moving, but I'm also rushing for time. So I'm gonna leave this for a little bit. And in the meanwhile, let me get a platter to start plating my food because that's the part that we're doing. Okay. My husband got me this beautiful like charcuterie. I am such a big charcuterie person. And he got me this, I think it was Christmas or our anniversary, I forgot. But let me show you this. It's a set. I probably will pull the full set out tonight. But he got me this for, and it's like my name is put in the wood there. And it's beautiful. Like obviously for cheese, it's like a marble piece. It is so gorgeous. I don't know where he got it. I absolutely love it, you know? And it's such a standout thing, like whenever I have company, because he knows I entertain a lot. It's, you know, everyone always asks like, oh my God, where'd you get that? Because it's so beautiful and thoughtful. It was such a thoughtful gift. I'll show you the other parts to it, but I think I'm gonna pull that out today so I can use it for some parts. Let me know if you like it in the comments, if it's something that you would absolutely have in your house. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Halloumi cheese, similar calorie count to pepper jack cheese. However, this one does not melt. Okay. This thing is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So what we're gonna do is, I think I'm gonna put some of the put the peppers on this. Okay? Actually, let me bring you here. We could do 2 things at once. We can watch our cheese and we can plate our peppers and finish garnishing that. How about that? Because we got things to do. And so the cheese is there. You see how It's not melting, but I want to give it a little more like zest in there. I've lowered the heat a little bit, but in the meanwhile, I want to go ahead and get these peppers plated. Ooh, ooh. Okay, nearly lost one there. Trying to get them up and onto this thing, but they want to stay in the pot. Just have to have patience. But the peppers, you can smell that they've kind of roasted a little bit. And so that's good. The bread is in the oven as we speak because that's what I'm going to have the bruschetta on with the halloumi. So that's finishing up as we speak. I'm just going to put everything on here. As I said, even if we don't eat all, hubby loves this dish, so he might get some as well. Give him some. And then we'll be able to move our cheese onto the cutting board to start plating as well. And then the last meal, if you stick with me here, I'm going to go for it, is going to be some chicken wraps, some quick chicken that should come together so quickly. But there we go. And so remember I told you I'm going to do some drizzle of, let me move this back so I can use the board. And that's going to stay there for a little bit. And then let's check the cheese out. All right, looks like these are ready to go as well. What do you guys think? Are you thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm going to try this? As I said, this one, higher protein is where we're going to get the protein in this one. Yeah. But it doesn't melt. So, I do like how that's looking over there. The darkness. This one is starting to burn a little bit. So let's get this, definitely get this guy out of here. But I love how the lines, obviously if you had a grill, it won't be as skinny as these lines, but I'm loving this. What do you think? Tell me yay, nay. Right, so this is our grilled halloumi. I'm gonna take that off. But before we finish that, let's finish this guy, okay? And so what we need, just a little more, because this is just garnish now. We already used a lot of the thyme. So we used the thyme in the cottage cheese. Remember, this is stuffed with cottage cheese. I used to do this with goat cheese, but I'm looking to get that high protein tonight. So I'm just gonna put a little bit around, just a little garnish. And then we're gonna go in with this honey sriracha. Okay, this thing is hot and spicy. It is the best of both worlds for me. I love some heat and the sweetness along with the cottage cheese, the feta, and the sweetness of the pepper brings it all together. So I want to make sure I normally test my dripper because, now you're going in for the final stage and you don't want things just dripping off on you. So I'm just getting a plate okay, there we go. And that's just a tester. And so you just come down here. You don't have to be fancy. And there we go. Okay, I didn't put too much, but just enough so that you can have it. And then I'm just gonna put this to the side, and because this is done, but we're gonna put this to the side. Then we're gonna bring back our bruschetta. And now we just need the bread, okay? Let's see how the bread is doing. Yes, definitely crisp. You want it almost like, maybe a little too crispy here, but Okay, so the bread is out. One side is definitely a little more crispy than the other. I'm gonna go with it anyway. You know, you don't have to be perfect. And she definitely will understand. So I'm gonna bring the bread over to my cutting board, and then I'm gonna bring that in front of you guys so you could see how we assemble it together. And so here we go. We have our halloumi, we have our bread, and then we have our bruschetta. And now it's just a matter of assembling it. We need a board or something to assemble this. And I think I'm gonna do one of my, I think this would work, right? Looks nice. It looks like we're definitely doing entertaining. So I'm gonna do this board. Let me just get some space going here on the island. And remember, bruschetta is just the simple things that you're already doing. Questions. Love your outfit. Thank you so much. Looks like Catherine is doing a great job. Damien, yeah, she's been helping me out. Thank you so much. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do, we're gonna lay out some bread. I did 6 pieces. There we go. Let me turn off my oven. Don't need this anymore. Okay. And so what we want to do is we want to get a slice on each. Actually, before that, let me do some olive oil on the bread. Just to give it a little oomph. Okay? Just to give it a little oomph. So I'm going to get a little, what I'm doing is just putting a little bit of olive oil. Maybe this looks like not even a tablespoon. You're gonna get a brush. And we're just a little bit in there. Okay? Don't overdo it. Remember, we're still thinking of calories and we're still thinking, even if we're gonna enjoy this as though it was a 2,000 calorie meal, we just want to make sure that we're still being intentional about what we're eating. And so this high protein meal, I call it a meal because in together, all of the things probably hit that high protein. All right, let's make it look pretty again. And there we go. And so we're gonna just go in with a slice laid down like that. Sometimes they have the much bigger, like if I had made the bread smaller, obviously this will fit. But because we're in a little bit of a tight rush, I'm not gonna cut it up and anything like that. And now you have your thing here. I didn't add any olive oil here, just salt, pepper, and basil. And that alone is going to be enough to give this entire fiesta, bring it to life. And so I'm just going in and I'm just taking a little bit of the mixture. And you just got to be careful so you can get it all in there. And you want it all on top of the cheese. I think I do like that the bread is bigger so it kind of holds anything that might fall off, you know? There we go. And I think I did enough of a mixture for all of these pieces. This is going to be crispy. As I said, the bread is already like crunchy. So that's going to give you that crunchy. And then the softness of the cheese with this flavorful bruschetta on top is just going to be a perfect bite. You may not even need more than one. What are you guys thinking? Is these things that, you know, entertainment that you would, or were you thinking like, give me my my veggie platter. Oops, losing the plot. I'm losing the plot. Hold on. Obviously, I can't talk and do this at the same time. It takes concentration. And then the last one here is going to come in. As I said, I think I like the idea that the bread was bigger because if it was, then I would probably be working, trying to get this to stay on top a little more. Okay. So the protein is in the halloumi cheese. The halloumi cheese has 9 grams of protein, and I'm calling it from the pack. So 9 grams of protein, or 6 grams, sorry, 9 grams of protein, sorry, for each serving, and it's 80 calories. Okay, so this is a bruschetta that actually makes sense to me now. Obviously, I love bruschetta, but it's definitely a high calorie thing that you're just like, oh my gosh. Are we loving it? Are we loving it? Is this something that if you were to come to my home and I served it, you would say, yes, love it, and looks good. Okay, we're gonna put this guy to the side. So far we have 3 things that we've completed. I want to show you this a little bit. So we have our stuffed red peppers, and then we have our halloumi cheese bruschetta, and the stuffed red peppers, the sauce is a honey sriracha drizzle on top of it. Okay, and then let's just check out what's going on with our... Is it getting hard? Yes, yes, yes. It is definitely getting hard. So that will be the last thing to come out, but that is definitely telling me that we are on point. Okay, I know I'm over time. She'll be here probably in 20 minutes. I'm going in for the last thing because I want to have some chicken for her, because not everybody's going to eat just a vegetarian. So I am going to quickly... When I say quickly, I'm going to quickly make these lettuce wraps. This one is more of a wrap that you would get at like P.F. Chang, right? So high protein. And so we're going to do that really, when I say quickly, quickly. So y'all could time me on this one. I'm going to get my board. I'm going to put this on the side, get my knife, and we're going to put this over here. Okay. At least I did the one thing. I pulled everything for this meal, and so I don't have to run around the kitchen looking for all the things. I'm just going to clean my knife because I do need to chop up some stuff. But with this knife, you're going to be able to chop things in so quickly. And I'm going to flip this board so that we can go with a clean slate. Okay, I'm going to chop up some onions, garlic, and ginger. Okay, we're going to be doing this really quickly. As I said, this is my copycat version of the P.F. Chang's lettuce wraps, or is chicken wraps. I don't even know what they call it. I haven't been there in so long, but I do like this thing. And so I'm just cutting these up really quickly. I have the chicken here, and thankfully I got ground chicken, so I don't have to kind of deal with that. So this will make it very quick to do. Okay, here's our our onions. We want to get some ginger. And I'm not going to put the ginger in. I'm going to actually grate the ginger, so I just want to peel this. I'm going to put the ginger in my sauce. And this comes together quickly if you have all the sauce stuff right there. It's a matter of just whisking everything together. So I'm just going to put that away. Here's my ginger. Looks like everything is under control. Okay, guys, bye. I mod for 3 channels already, and now I have 3. Oh my God, Damien, thanks for jumping in. I appreciate you coming on to this channel every and always. Bye, Catherine. Bye. Okay, here we are. So we are just cutting up some. This one you will mince a little bit because you're going to put this in the pot. And that's all there is on this thing here. I'm cutting up garlic. You guys know already, if you've been following, my obsession with garlic and onions together. Throw ginger in the mix and you could really have any meal taste as though you are in a five-star restaurant. I think those flavor combos just, it does it for everyone, and it just brings meals together. Remember, we're not talking about just salt and pepper to do our stuff. Okay. And I want to cut up everything because once we start, we kind of move fast on this one. I have some little piece of jalapeno. I'm going to cut this. Let me rinse this so I can get the seeds out. As you know, I love a little bit of heat. So I'm always going to add, you don't have to add this piece. I don't know if this is a piece even in the, I don't know if this is a piece in the PF Chang's copycat. I don't think I remember seeing this, but I always add my heat to things. So just have to remember not to rub my eyes now, right? Okay. So we have that. And then I have some red peppers. I had a little bit left over from my mini sweet peppers, and not to throw it to waste, I figured why not add this as well. Remember what I said in the beginning? They didn't have seeds when I bought this one, and I was just like, I've never even heard of such a thing. But I'm not complaining. So just cut these. This is cutting up. This knife, I swear, like, I could do everything like so much faster with this knife. And so what we're making here is some lettuce wraps, the ones that you'd probably seen or had before from, if you've ever been to PF Chang's, which is a chain restaurant. I call it Asian inspired food. And so I love the wraps. Figured why not add this one? We don't have any true meat in the meal tonight, so I figured we should probably do that. Okay, and then I want to add a little bit of green onions. This will probably come last, but might as well do it now so that I could kind of move quickly when I start cooking. Okay, and as you can see, we did not really do a lot of cooking for this. This will probably be the first kind of cooking we do for this. If you count the grilling of the halloumi, everything was either in the oven. Okay. Okay. All right, so we can start heating up our pan. And so I'm just going to switch out. And I'm going to turn this guy on. I'm still doing really well with the kitchen not being a complete mess, which is good because I'm not going to have much time. Be able to put all of this, few things into the microwave. I mean, not the microwave, the dishwasher. So that's why I like these kind of meals. I don't need to be cooking with 100 different pots. Bonnie, the knife it's Miyabi 7000D. It is perfection. Really, really is. Okay, so here's the other thing that you need to do. It's some sauces that go in here. So this is what you're gonna need. You need soy sauce, you need hoisin sauce, you need some red rice vinegar, some sesame oil. Okay, that's it. And I'm gonna add a little bit of chili oil. You don't have to. Okay, I like the heat. As I keep saying, bring the heat. I feel like that adds to the flavors and the intensities of the meals. So what I'm gonna need, I do need a small bowl, and this has less than maybe a quarter teaspoon of olive oil left in it. I could still go ahead and use this. So I'm not gonna dirty up another thing. Pot is on. I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in there. And so basically I'm gonna get this ready to cook all those vegetables you see here, okay? If you don't mind, I'm gonna move this to the side. And then we're going to start building our sauce. Okay. I have a low sodium sauce. Try to go to low sodium. Okay. So this is a low sodium soy sauce that I'm using. And this is basically the sauce that I'm going to be mixing together. Okay. This is the hoisin sauce. Don't do too much of this. This is going to add a little, this adds calories. You're not doing too much. It's a sweetener almost. You want to do your rice vinegar. And at the end of this, or tomorrow, not tonight, because I'm having company, I will put all of the recipes and stuff in the description. So if you want to come back and get any of these, I got you. Okay? And then we're going to have some salt. And of course, black pepper. You notice I never have just salt and black pepper because that's not how we're making meals, okay? Publish a cookbook. Wow, no, that's definitely a lot, but I will take that into consideration. I absolutely will. Okay, pot is ready. And so let me bring you over here so we can get our veggies going and the chicken going. I've already pretty much mixed the sauce, so we'll be able to move very quickly. I am doing this a little sloppy. Don't mind me. Okay? So you have all your veggies in here, and this is what you're going to use to really build that flavor in that chicken. Okay? All of this is going to get right there. You won't need a lot of seasoning, but try to make this first. I've seen recipes where they have the chicken first and then they add this. And I just don't see how you get the flavors from the garlic and the onions when it's not the first thing in the pot. Like, I just don't get it. And so I always reverse that. I always saute my veggies first, and then I go in and add the chopped meat, the ground meat. So follow me, don't follow them. Because I don't think it works. I just don't think it works. Okay. So here we have ground chicken, the 94% lean. And so we have 140 calories a serving, which is about 4 ounces. And it's going to give you 23 grams of protein. So if I ate everything, 1 or 2 pieces of everything, at the end of the night, I probably could top out at about 60 grams of protein, because of all of these different things. So I figured because we're not having a real dinner, I wanted to make sure, she definitely leaves full. Like, she doesn't even have to go to McDonald's after she leaves my house, And so, that was very sloppy. Sorry. So we're at... Okay. Get this off of here. So this is ground chicken. If you don't, you could get it already grounded, which I don't even know how you would how you would do it. I honestly don't. But this is how whenever I make this, I just get the chicken already grounded. It's a little more expensive, I think, obviously, but that's fine. And so we're now going to just let that sit and cook in the veggie mixture Also, you can see how it's starting to look with all the red and the green. The garlic is in there. The onion is in there. It smells amazing. Lower the heat a little bit. Don't want it to burn. And I'm gonna come back to finishing off my sauce. Okay. You can also add cabbage. Yes, you definitely can, which is really a good idea, actually. If I had any, I would have definitely put some. I don't have any cabbage, but that's a really good idea to add that. Um, I'm not adding sofrito only because I'm doing like an Asian sauce to it. And so what I added, if you didn't see, was the hoisin sauce, the soy sauce, some rice vinegar, some sesame oil, and some chili oil. Okay? I think the sofrito will throw the taste. So I'm just trying to get a whisk. And I just want to whisk, if I can find my whisk. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we are going to whisk this. I do want to taste it because this is actually the sauce. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch, I think, because I do want it a little thick, but we'll see how that works out. 378 calories for 2 portions. Okay, Catherine, thank you. How much proteins? Well, obviously about 23. Okay, so that is this. I'm gonna add the ginger in here. This will set it off. So I'm just gonna get forgot the name of this guy, but I'm gonna put that in here. The zester, or whatever. Yes, if you use, I guess you could call it a zest. I'm grating the ginger. Okay, and so that is what I'm doing, and you're gonna have that piece in here. You don't need a lot, but I love ginger. I think it's just a thing, especially in Asian inspired food. It's it just brings everything together. So I'm gonna go in, and I think that should be enough. Okay. All right. I might need a little more based on how much chicken we're using. So I'm just gonna add a little more. I'm adding a little more soy sauce, a little more vinegar, and then our hoisin. Okay. Okay. I just peeked at the chicken and it doesn't look like it's ready yet. So what we could do is get our lettuce beds ready. I'm going to chop up a little bit of, this is cilantro. So that would finish that. I'm just going to check on the chicken. Bring the heat up on high now to get the last bit. As I said, oh, this is coming together beautifully. I just don't understand how people end up cooking the chicken first and then the veggies. Like, I feel like there's just no room for the veggies to really get itself. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and once heat hand, you know. But I just feel like you need to cook the veggies first and then the chicken. Let me know in the comments if you've had this one like this before. I probably put in of the sauce because in order to go quickly, I did 1 tablespoon each. Okay. I always see them add a little sugar. I'm not gonna add sugar. Definitely no sugar in this one. We're trying to keep our calorie count down and keep it a high protein. So I'm not gonna add sugar. All right, looks like the chicken is, you don't see any pink. And so it looks like we are probably coming close to wrapping